Right, just like normal, come and stand. But you are going to take your, when we're in downward dog, you're going to wave your legs around a little bit today. So if you're very close to a wall, you'll need to adjust yourself maybe slightly when we come to it. So I'll give you plenty of notice, but just so that you know, you might need just some space to one side for some of the practice. Okay, so come to stand with your feet maybe just slightly wider apart than your hips are. Your toes turned out ever so slightly, little bit of softness into the knees, dropping your weight into your pelvis, arms hanging down by your side, and then start to turn from the hips. Okay, so the movement doesn't happen because you're taking your arms in these helicopter swings, but it's happening through the center of your body and particularly from the ground up. So I want you to think about your feet, think about the sides of your feet as they gently push you back towards the center, and then the other foot takes over, and you've got this really nice movement that comes up through the legs and rolls around the spine. So let this become a free movement. Let there be a lightness to this. Let there be a continual rotation that feels like you are releasing, wringing out your body, wringing out your spine, and getting your body used to being upright. And this is what we talk about. So I know that it's really lovely to be able to roll out of bed and to get onto your yoga mat. And I get it, I totally get it. But we do need to take time before we get into doing any big stretches, anything that is over stretching ligaments that have become soft while we've been asleep. So when we wake up, we need to walk around or do something like this that starts to get the body strong again, because it's holding its own body weight in an upright position. So I get up, have a little bit of a potter around, make a tea, you know, something like that, and then I get onto my yoga mat later, maybe in about, 20 minutes or half an hour after being up. Anyway, so keep swinging, keep turning, keep going. I'm going to turn my iPad on because I can't see you all yet. Okay, so keep letting the head turn to look in almost the opposite direction behind you. And if you're using your arms, let your arms just gently tap the back of your kidneys as it wraps around the back of your body. And then the front arm can gently almost tap the front of the rib cage and the underneath of the side ribs. All right, good, that's better. I can see you all now, looking lovely, well done. Let's change that one. Good. Okay. All right, so start to slow it down, please. And come back to a natural stop. And then we're going to take the arms out to the sides, and then they're swinging down, and you're going to take one arm behind you and reach it over to the other side. Then it comes up to the center. Swing one arm, the other arm behind you, and take the other arm over. So you're going side to side like this. So we've done this for the last couple of weeks, so it will be getting more and more familiar. Don't worry if it gets a bit, I always sort of get myself into a bit of a muddle doing this one. And I think I've set my muscle memory so that it happens. Notice that I'm bobbing a little bit up and down, so there's a little bit of softness into the knees. So each time the hands come down, I'm letting the knees bend to take that downward movement of my arm energy. Okay, so there's a little bit of lightness, a little bit of vibrancy about this. Good job. And then we're going to slow it down. And we're going to come back to the center. And it feels as though we've only just got into that one. I feel like I could have done that one for longer. But I want you to hang forwards a little bit, and I want you to alternate the swinging of the arms. Okay, so morning Janet, welcome. So we're swinging, alternating the arms. And then this is same as what we did on Tuesday night. So now you can take the arms into an eagle position like this. Come up to stand. Okay, I want you, as you breathe in, to move the elbows away and drop your chin towards your chest. And then as you exhale, come back upright. So it's an upper body movement, breathing in, drop chin to chest, round back of the shoulders. Inhale, sorry, exhale back to center. Last one, breathing in, rounding, breathing into the back of the shoulders, and then back to center, and then release the arms and swing. Okay, and then we're going to do a couple of swings like this and alternate the cross of the elbows. Bring the arms up, 3 of these breaths again. So breathing in, chin to chest, elbows away, and breathing out back upright. Breathing in, elbows moving forwards and coming back. Last one, breathe in and out. Good. Release the arms, give them a little bit of a swing. Good. And then bring the wrists together, interlace the fingers, elbows together, and pump the forearms up and down to give the wrists a roll out. Okay. Good job. And then swing this out of the arms. I need to get a different top on because this one's falling down. And then change the cross of your fingers, bring them up in front of you again, and go the other way. So if you remember which way you went, it doesn't matter. Circular movements are going to be good for your wrists and good for the weight bearing that we do on the hands during this class. It's inevitable, isn't it? Okay, so swing it out again. Very nice. Bring the feet so that the toes point forwards. Little bit of a bend to the knees, so you can bring your hands just above the knees. And then you're thinking about your tailbone drawing a circle in the air behind you. Okay, if it feels comfortable, you can have your feet together for this. Drawing a circle. Engaging your lower abdominal muscles, so starting to work a little bit into the core before we get going. Good. And then come up to stand. And what I want you to do is bend the knees slightly, send the hips forwards, press the heels into the floor, lift up through the heart, take the arms backwards and find yourself into a little bit of a back bend. And then you can come forwards again. Notice the knees stay bent all of the time. You went one way the first time, go the other way the second time. Going right out to the sides, not being kind of afraid to make this quite an expressive movement. Good job. And then come back upright again. Same thing, little bend to the knees, send the hips forwards, lift the heart up, take the arms back and lift the chin, lead yourself into a bit of a back bend, and then gently come forwards again. Let's bring the feet together, big toe joints together, outside edges of the feet parallel, some circles with the knees. We're going to do about 8 in this direction. And then 8 in the next direction. Change it, please. Change the direction. Good job. And then coming up to stand. Hands on the hips, one foot behind the other slightly, and rolling onto the top of the toes. All right. And then change direction. Good. And then pausing with the toes on the top of the toes on the floor, bending the left knee a little bit if it's the right leg that's behind, just giving those toes a little bit of an extra stretch out, and then coming back up to stand, and foot comes back down, other foot behind, rolling on the top of the toes again. So if this is an area of your body that is a little bit resistant to these movements, do persevere. Okay, obviously don't cause yourself any pain. If it's a little bit mildly uncomfortable, see if you can manage that, but obviously don't cause yourself any more difficulty. Roll in the other direction, because oftentimes when we've got pain, it's because the joint has stopped being used properly, or it's picking up a lot of strain from somewhere else in the body, and we need to keep it mobile. So often these types of movements are very good for releasing that long held tension. Same thing, top of the foot on the floor, bend the right knee and just lean down onto the top of the foot slightly so you can feel that little bit of a stretch. And then stand up straight, good job, and bring the foot back down. Very nice. Okay, well done. I think we're about ready. What we're going to do is come down onto our hands and knees. I want you to bring your hands onto the floor so we can do some wrist movements. So have all fours, on all fours please. Arms underneath, hands underneath your shoulders. And we're going to do some circles. So the arms need to stay straight. And I want you to feel as though you're wrapping your upper arms, your triceps backwards. And there's a little bit of lift to the back of your heart. So you're not collapsing towards the floor. You're pressing into the hands to lift you away from the floor. Okay, do some circles the other way now, please. So keep wrapping the upper arms back and keep pressing the floor so that the arms stay nice and long. All right, very good. Now turn the fingers so that they point in towards one another. Arms are going to stay straight still here, and you're leaning over to one side and then leaning over to the other side. Very good. Nice. And then I'd like you to go the other way, so the fingers point out, some stretches, some leans over side to side again. Very good. And then last one, I want you to turn the fingertips, if you can, so that they point back towards your knees. And if you want to bring your knees a bit closer, that's okay. If they don't get all of the way round, don't worry, just do what you can. Try to keep the arms nice and straight. And then you're leaning back and lifting the heel of your hands off of the floor slightly. So don't feel like you've got to keep them pressed onto the ground. So it's a nice finger palm stretch as well. And then coming back, lift your fingertips off of the ground. Notice how my feet lifted there. Want to lift my fingertips, my toes are coming off the floor. So leaning back, lifting the heels of the hands away from the floor. And then as you come forwards, lift the fingertips. They might only lift a millimetre, it's okay. One more time, leaning back. And then coming forwards and lifting fingertips. And good, releasing, rolling back. And giving your wrists another stretch out, okay? So I really, really recommend to build up the strength of the wrists and indeed the arms, the shoulders. Get onto the hands, do those exercises as frequently as you feel that you can. Okay, back onto all fours, please, everyone. And we're going to start with the toes tucked under. Let's come into a downward dog. So think about spinning your upper arm bones forwards. That means you're wrapping your triceps back. You're engaging this muscle that's just here underneath your shoulder. I want you to press into the mat as you lengthen the spine and take the sit bones back and up. Let the head hang a little bit in between the arms. But I want you to think about bringing your rib cage, the front of your rib cage, think about the bones and bring them together slightly. Lifting the back of your heart a little bit, lifting your tailbone. You're trying to maintain a natural curve in your lumbar spine. You're not looking to overly flatten your back or could take it into one straight line. So think about lifting the tailbone and tilting the pelvis slightly forward, but at the same time lifting the back of the heart. Breathe here, taking another breath in and another breath out. And then we're going to plant our body weight into the left foot and take the right foot up to the sky. Reach it up. Lift up onto your left tiptoes. Take the right foot even higher and then lower the left heel down. And again, lift the left heel as high. Keep the right foot in the air, wrapping the upper arm bones, remember, and then heel lowers. And we'll do it one more time, lifting the heel and lowering. Good. Let's pop the right foot back down. Let's do the same thing the other side. So set your pose, set your arms, wrap the triceps, knit the rib cage together, lift the back of the heart. Now lift the left foot. Press the right heel into the floor. Then inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhaling to lift. Lift the left heel a little bit higher and come down, lowering the left heel. Pop your knees down onto the floor. Well done, everybody. Untuck your toes, rest your bottom back and turn your palms upwards towards the ceiling. Let your chin fall towards your chest and move your sit bones back slightly so you stretch out the back of the shoulders. Okay. All right. So then let's think about coming back up onto all fours, tucking under the toes, taking a little down dog, and then looking towards your hands, walking your feet upwards towards your hands and hanging forwards. First big forward fold of the morning. So take your time, be kind to yourself. Halfway lift, breathe in, hands to the tops of the shins, looking forwards, looking for that lower back arch, so keep the dip, the lumbar curve. Exhale, folding down, soften the knees if you need to. And then inhale, come all the way up. Arms can go straight up or out wide to the sides, your choice. Look up between your hands. And then exhale, bring your palms together and rest them in front of your heart. And as they rest there and you breathe in, press the palms really strong and breathe out. Separate the shoulder blades apart behind your body on the exhale. So inhale, the palms can be soft. And then exhale, press the palms together and open up the back of the shoulders. Very subtle movement this. Breathing in again and breathing out. Pressing the palms, spreading the shoulder blades. Good. And then soften everything. Let the elbows drop a little bit. And just for a moment, remind yourself of your practice. Maybe you've got a practice goal. Maybe your intention is to feel really energized and positive for today. So bring that into your mind. Make that the driving force of your practice this morning. Okay. So take a breath in, press the palms, bend the knees a little bit. As you breathe in again, on an inhale, lift the arms up, separate the palms, send the hips forwards, open the body into a little bit of a back bend. Then as you breathe out, gently fold all the way down, all the way to the ground, chin towards the chest. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step your feet back into a plank position. Good. Drop the knees down onto the floor. Turn the creases of the elbows forward so you're wrapping the triceps and bring your chin and your chest down in front of the line of your fingertips. Okay, so not in between the hands but in front of the hands. Then come forwards, untuck the toes, shoulders back, elbows back, chest forwards, glutes strong. Then soften, lift up onto knees, downward facing dog. Hold it here and breathe. Take 2 more breaths, wrapping the triceps again. So you're starting to really feel about the strength from your shoulders and your core. Okay, lift your right foot up to the sky. Float your shoulders over your wrists this time. Bring your knee up underneath your body as close towards your chest as you can, and then place your foot down on the floor as close to your hands. Give it a helping hand if it needs it. Pop your right knee down onto the ground, come up and place your palms onto the top of your right thigh. Leave your left toes tucked under for the moment. And you're going to breathe in. And as you breathe in, I want you to firm your right glute, firm your left glute as well. So get both of them working really hard. Arms straight, lift the chest, look up. Then as you breathe out, you're going to fold the chin towards the chest, come out of the lunge and point the tailbone towards the ground. So engaging your tummy muscle, and then breathe in, squeeze the glutes, lift the heart. And then breathe out, curling chin to chest, tailbone points to the ground. You should have a stretch on your left quad. Last one, breathe in, lifting up and breathing out, coming down. Good job. Place the hands back down onto the floor, lift up the back knee and step back to a plank position. Now we're going to hold this here for a moment. Press the tailbone back towards the heels. Wrap the triceps, lift the back of the heart, and feel the tummy muscles working strong here. You're going to hold this for another 2 breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe in, tailbone towards the heels, arms strong, press into the floor and out. Now pop your knees down onto the floor. Keep that same wrap of the arms. Tilt the tailbone up towards the sky. Lay the chin and the chest down in front of the hands. Come forwards, untuck toes, cobra pose. Come back into downward dog. Good. Okay. Left foot lifted up to the sky. Keep it high. Float the shoulders over the wrists. Bring the knee underneath the body and curl the body in, knee towards the chest. Then place the foot down onto the floor, in between the hands. Lower the right knee, come up onto the thigh. Okay, 3 of these. Breathe in, firm the glutes, lift the heart, straighten the arms, look up. Breathe out, come out of the lunge a little bit, tailbone points down, chin to chest. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, curling, shortening front body, tummy engaged. One more time, breathe in, lift the chest, squeeze the bottom. Breathing out, curling in. Good, release. Hands down to the floor, step back to a plank position. Rounding the upper arms back, lifting the back of the heart, pressing the heels back, tailbone towards the heels. Good, drop the knees down to the floor. Press the heels back. Knees down to the floor and press the heels back. 2 more times. Press the heels back. Last one. Good job. Very nice. Knees come down to the floor, chin and the chest in between the hands. Swoop forwards into cobra pose. Squeeze the bottom. Come down a little bit. Hands and knees, tuck toes. And downward facing dog. Press it out. Breathe. Keep breathing. Good job. Okay, look towards your fingertips. Walk, step or jump your feet up to the front of your mat and hang forward. Breathe in. Arms come wide all the way up to stand. Look up. Breathe out. Hands to heart. Press into the palms. Breathe in. Bend the knees. Send the hips forwards. Open the arms. Take that lovely back bend. Squeeze the bottom. Breathe out. Gently come down all the way to the floor. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Lifting the heart. Looking for the curve in the lower back. Breathing out, folding down, soften the knees if you need to. Step back into a plank position. Here we are again. Float the shoulders over the wrists. Press the tailbone back towards the heels. Press the floor, wrap the upper arms. Feel how lovely and strong you're becoming. Good. Pop the knees down onto the ground. Take the right foot forwards to meet the hands. Okay. So we're going to take our back bend a little bit deeper now. Obviously only go as far as you want to. You're going to come up. You're going to cross the hands, or you can link the fingers, up to you. And you're going to breathe in, pressing the hips forward, squeezing the glutes, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. See how far you can go back. Very nice. Now bow forwards, and as you come forwards, float the right toes off the floor, press the heel into the ground, take the left sit bone backwards, sorry, right sit bone backwards. Come forwards, just take care with the knee here, lifting up, squeeze firm the glutes, lift up through front body, and then gently fold, leaning back for half splits. Good, one more time, coming all the way up, lifting up, chest opens, squeeze the glutes, lift the hands, and then folding back. And then letting yourself stay here. You're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Just looking for a little deeper twist, little deeper stretch. Okay, breathing in. Press the heel into the floor. Take the right sit bone back. Good job. One more breath. Okay, then let's think about coming back forwards. Placing the left hand on the floor. Taking the right arm up to the side, up to the ceiling, and pressing the back through the left heel so that the left leg becomes nice and strong. Good, so we did this last week. We're going to repeat it because I love it so much. So we're going to straighten the, what we're going to do is we're going to lower the arm and come forwards and up in front of us. And as we come up, the front leg straightens. Notice the back heel is not on the floor. Then as the arm comes down, we bend the front knee and we come all the way back up again. Front leg becomes straight. And back, all the way down, all the way up. Straighten the front leg. Last one, all the way down, forwards and back up. Very nice. Bring the right hand back down to the floor. Step back into a plank position. Well done. Pop the knees down. Spin the upper arms. Remember what we're doing. Chin and chest to the floor. Come forwards into cobra. Backwards into downward dog. Very nice. Okay. Let's float the knees down onto the floor again and step the left foot forwards. Okay. Good, so we're coming up into the back bend and then backwards into the half splits. So breathing in, coming up, squeezing the glutes, so really firming the back of the thighs as you lift up. As you bow forwards, start to float the left toes off of the floor, chin coming towards the chest for the back of the leg stretch. And then up again. Feel the front of the right hip getting its nice length as you squeeze the right glute. And then gently coming down, floating left toes off the floor, chin to chest. Last one, coming up, bowing upwards. You look lovely. I love watching you do these back bends on my little screen. And then folding forwards, chin to chest, left toes lift. You're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. So each time you exhale, come a little bit deeper into the position, into the stretch. Good job. One more breath. And then floating forwards, right hand comes onto the floor. Remember, you can have the right fingertips turned out slightly. Pressing backwards through the right heel, so the right leg is becoming really straight. Turn so that you can lift your left arm to the ceiling. Sweep the arm in a backward circle. And as you come forwards and up, straighten the left leg. Then as you go backwards, bend the left knee. Take it in a way that feels fairly organic for you. And then gently roll again. We do one more. Good job. And then back down. Very nice. Step back into your plank position. Little vinyasa again, or if you want to skip it out, you can do, you know the score. So knees down, chin and chest down. Forwards, cobra pose. Exhale, downward dog. All right, so if we're everybody back into downward dog, please. And we're going to take the right foot back up into the sky. Bend the knee, bring the heel towards the bottom and turn to look underneath your right arm, really spinning the body round as much as you can. Very nice. Then we're going to take the foot back. In fact, actually what we're going to do is, if you've got the space to do this, drop the foot to the floor behind you so that you can then straighten your left leg and take your right arm up to the sky. Okay, so left leg is straight, right foot is on the floor behind you. Bow down and thread your right arm underneath your left. Then inhale, lift the hips, look up. Exhale, thread the arm underneath, look to the left if you can, and then take it up. Last one, bring it down, thread it under. Good, take it up. Now you've got to get back from your flipped dog, so hand comes down, right hand foot can come to the floor, left foot can come to the floor. Press it out into downward dog. Okay, so big on the wrists, we'll get off of the hands in just a sec, I promise. Left foot, lift it up to the sky. Bend the knee, stack the hips, look underneath the left arm so you give yourself that opportunity to stretch out the left-hand side of your body. Breathe. Okay, now if you can, you're going to take the foot to the floor behind you. And when it gets there, slide your right leg straight so that you are on the outside edge of your right foot. Left hand comes up to the sky. Breathe in. As you breathe out, curl so that the left arm threads under the right arm. Breathe in, lift up, firm, lift up through the hips. And then breathe out. One more of these, breathe in. And breathe out. Good job. Placing the left hand onto the floor, come back into your downward dog. Pop your knees down onto the floor and place your forearms onto the floor. Come onto your tummy. Okay, so give your wrists a little bit of a roll. I know it's tough on the wrists, isn't it? It's so tough on the hands. So give your hips a little bit of a wobble from side to side. Okay, and we'll just let the body settle into this little bit of a back bend just for a moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up into that praying mantis that we've done a few weeks running now. So knees are on the floor, tailbone lengthens towards the heels, chin towards the chest. And then you're coming forwards onto your tummy and the hips come down and you lift the chest. So we're back into cobra. Backwards into the praying mantis, tailbone towards the heels, lift the navel, and then forwards, Sphinx pose. And again, coming up into praying mantis, tailbone towards the heels, engage the tummy muscles, and then down. Okay, so just rest it out here. If you want to, you can repeat another set of those. Those that want to come with me, we're going to come up into dolphin pose. So lift up onto your knees, walk your knees in a little bit closer towards your elbows, and then you're coming up into dolphin. So it's like a forearm down dog. Think about pressing the forearms into the floor and taking the heart towards the toes. Then looking where your thumbs are, folding forwards, nose towards your thumb, and then come back. So these are dolphin press ups. If you don't want to do these, you're back doing cobra into praying mantis. Couple of more of these, folding forwards and back, tummy muscles engaged. One more time, pressing back, 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 back. And then everybody knees down, untuck your toes, resting into child's pose. Good. Another couple of breaths, just breathe it all out, let the body become heavy. Quieter, breath still. Good. And then come back to lay on your tummy, please, when you're ready. All right. Okay, so let's take the elbows out wide to the side, bend the knees, flex the ankles. So this is skydiver. We're going to do 3 or 4 of these. So as you keep your head in line with the rest of your spine, so not overly lifting your head up, but breathing in, elbows lift, knees lift. Breathe out, gently come down. Breathe in and out. One more time, breathing in and hold this here. See if you can stay here for a bit longer. Lift the knees, lift the elbows, lift the chest. Hold it, keep breathing. Take another breath, you've got this. And then gently come down. Rest the head, relax the shoulders, wiggle the hips. Good. Okay, so then let's bend the knees again. Reach back for the tops of the ankles. If you can do both feet at the same time, go for it. If you need to do one leg at a time, that's fine. Start low, and then as you breathe in, lift up into bow. And as you breathe out, come down. 2 more of these, breathing in, coming up, breathing out, coming down. Last one, coming up, look forwards, press the feet into the hands, lift the knees. Good. And release. Softness again, relax shoulders, relax your head, wiggle your hips. Good job. Let everything be soft. Okay. Pop your hands back underneath your shoulders. Lift yourself up to all fours. We're going to stretch out the glutes a little bit by coming into pigeon pose. We're going to come from pigeon pose because we prepped this on Tuesday, so loads of you will know how to do this really well. So you can always lay on your back and hug your knees in towards your chest if you prefer. I'll give you that, I'll show you that in a second. So everybody come into downward dog. Take your right foot up high into the air. Float shoulders forwards, bring knee behind right wrist, foot across to the left. See if you can keep the flexion in the ankle. So don't point the toes, that means, on the right foot. Lengthen the left leg back, out behind you. Put something underneath this sit bone if it doesn't quite reach the floor. Make sure the back of your body feels fairly level. And then coming down, if you can, towards the ground. If you need to have your knee more central to the middle of the mat and the lower leg more closer to the groin, that's fine. And the final alternative is to lay on your back, cross your right leg over the top of the left thigh and hug the left knee in towards you, or the left thigh, whatever you can hold on to. Put something under your head here if this is a strain for your neck. All right. Good. If you don't worry about coming all the way down to the floor, if you can't manage that, maybe come onto the forearms first and just do it gradually. Obviously, if you've got any sensation that's unwanted in your right knee, especially on the inside of the knee, you might need to think about keeping the ankle flexed a little bit more because that helps to protect the knee, or maybe just bring the knee more closer into the center of the mat, or have the heel closer to your body. All right, you're going to take another breath here. Well done, everybody. And hopefully this feels maybe a little bit easier because you did the prep for it the other night and you're familiar with it and your body's nice and warm at the moment, and this will become a really welcome stretch. Okay, so we're going to gently lift ourselves up. Find your little bit of a back bend by pressing the front of the left thigh into the floor and lifting the chest up. the glutes working on the left-hand side. And then gently come forwards. But what I want you to do is sit over onto the right and bring your left leg in front of you. Release your right leg out to the side so you can bring the inside edge of the foot to the left thigh. And then you're reaching down for your left foot to stretch out the back of the left leg. So if you can only hold on to the shin, you could just have your hands resting on the floor either side of your leg. Go for it. If you want to cross over, you can hold on to the outside of the left foot with the right hand, maybe taking the left arm behind you slightly for a little bit of extra stretch into the right hand side of the body. Feel your way into this. Do what feels comfortable. Of course, if you want to, yeah, you're right, Anna. You can have your right knee bent. Is it your knee? That's it. Bring it in. I'm like this. That's it. Yeah. And then foot. Yeah, perfect. All right. Just a couple more breaths here, everyone. And then inhale your way back up. Good job. Take the right knee up, cross the right foot over the top of the left thigh. Hug the knee with the left arm, right hand comes behind. Look out behind you for a seated twist and breathe. If you want to take the elbow to the outside of the knee for a little bit of a deeper rotation, keep the left leg straight, heel away, toes up. Very good. Keep breathing. And then back to the center. And we'll just finish quickly. If you have to run off, just do pigeon pose on this side before you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into it from a seated position. Bring the left knee so that it's bent. Whether this foot is parallel to whether the shin is parallel to the top of the mat, or whether you've got your heel closer in towards you, is totally up to you. Then think about straightening your, coming up onto your hands, walking the right leg back, opening up into the hip, into the glutes, keeping this ankle here at the front bent at the right angles. That means don't point your toes, but the back toes can point. The top of the right thigh faces the floor. Back of the hips is as even as you can, even if that means the left sit bone or hip isn't anywhere near the floor, then you can put something underneath it if you've got something available. You can just stay up, and this is taking a little bit of a back bend here to be in this position, or you can come down onto your forearms or all the way down to the floor. Depends on how it feels in the glutes. Give them a little bit of a chance to stretch and to lengthen. Okay, just take another breath here. All right. And then easing yourself up. Sweeping the right leg around. Bringing the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Walking the sit bones back. Walking the hands down towards the foot. If they don't make it, don't worry. Have the hands resting on the floor. It makes you have to work harder. The moment we hold on to something, as in the foot, we lose a little bit of our dynamic. We lose a little bit of our muscle strength because we're relying on the arms and the shoulders to pull us into this forward fold. So actually being with the hands down by the sides, pressing the back of the foot into the floor, anchoring through the sit bone, and then folding forwards, you're having to work much, much harder. So it's a real, if you want to deepen and make yourself more effective in your stretching, make yourself stronger in your stretching, Try to do the stretches or the moves without holding on, okay, without binding, without giving yourself that thing. It's nice to have it there because then we can get to resist against it and pull a little bit deeper, and that can be quite satisfying sometimes, but also it's quite nice to practice without. If you took the twist, take it on this side, albeit briefly, looking back over the right shoulder behind, nice stretch for the left hand side of the body. And then coming back up, lifting the knee, taking the foot over the top of the right, hugging the knee with the right hand, right arm, left arm behind. Sit up nice and tall, find your twist. Breathe in and breathe out. And twists give us this nice chance. They're a real neutralizer for the spine, so they help to ease out any tightnesses, as you can probably feel, any kinks, any resistances, and they just help to neutralize the spine. Take one more breath here, and then return back to the center so that you can bend, release the legs, bend both knees, lay yourself down. I know if you've got to run, if you have to run and I don't get to say goodbye to you, have a wonderful day. And if you're still with me for the next 2 minutes, then we're going to slide our feet down to the ends of the mat. Let the toes roll out to the sides. Let the back of the body soften down. Ease yourself onto the ground. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Take another big breath in. Open the mouth and the breath away. Breathing in again and out. One more time. All right. Good job. If you want to stay here for a little bit longer, if you have nowhere else that you need to be, then feel free to pause your video and to take as long a shavasana as you wish. Those of you that are finishing with me, come and wiggle fingers and toes, turn head from side to side, and gently ease yourself around and up to sit when you are ready. Well done. Okay, doesn't matter whether your knees are sitting kneeling or sitting cross-legged, find a seated position, fingertips to the floor. Breathe in and sweep your arms up above the head. And as you breathe out, bring the hands down to the heart. Close the eyes, drop the chin towards the chest. And feel all the lovely heat and vitality, the energy of your practice as it floods through every cell of your being. And let this fuel the rest of your day. Take another breath in. Well done. Open your eyes. Exhale, folding forward. Namaste to you all. I hope you have a super rest of your Thursday. Well done.